And then we're going to be live on Instagram. And we're live on
Here we are.
Instagram!
Hey,
All
10
right.
o'clock.
It is our 10 o'clock. Yeah, it is our 10 o'clock on the dot here, live with Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
We are starting our new series this week. Yeah. Our new series this week, or this month, or however long this is going to take.
At the moment, it's listed out for this whole month. So March right now looks like it will be this entire series.
We're doing the way buyers buy a house. Does that make sense? What is it? Sales types?
Yeah, different sales types within purchasing, right?
So just to list off them, and I think we're going to do all the main ones. There are one-offs and things like that.
Yeah.
But and these are residential. We're not really going down the rabbit hole of commercial here. So
Correct.
Residential sales, there's standard, auction, short sale, foreclosure, manufactured. What else?
New construction.
Ooh, new construction.
Lot purchases. New construction.
Yep. So we're going to go down this whole path. Today specifically, we are going to go over auctions.
Yes.
Which, one of the main reasons we're doing that is because out of all of them besides standard, there currently are 21 out of 309 current. So I think besides that one, the next top one besides standard is new construction.
Yeah.
Just because the way that new construction is out there, they do 15 homes in one
shot
pocket.
Yes.
Where they're like, check out these 15 different styles of homes that we're building in this area. It looks like there's a lot more of those than there actually are.
Correct. You're going to see a lot of the time they'll say zero.
Yeah.
Main Street, whatever.
Zero Briarcrest or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
It's because they're
not building anything. It's just a lot there. And it's just,
But they list them out that way. So that's why they appear like that. But 21.
21 auctions.
That's
and
awesome.
that is legit.
That's crazy.
Auctions. Now, a couple of them, when I was going through them, a couple of them have already hosted the auction as of yesterday or the day before.
Okay.
And just like everything else, they kind of lag in saying they're sold.
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, those are not things that get updated as regularly,
right.
I would say, as a typical listing.
Right. So we are going to go over auctions today. So I did hit on one of the main things I want to hit on here is that there are 21 out there. So they're also on the MLS and through Zillow, I think, are not necessarily auction.
Correct.
So, and their price pointed, the median price point right now for auctions in Lancaster County is $200,000 to $250,000. Who here does not want a $250,000 house sitting on an acre and a half, three bedrooms? I mean,
we're game.
Looks like it's okayly maintained on the southern end or wherever. And also the other thing that I noticed is they're actually all the way around Lancaster County.
They're everywhere right now. I for some reason I feel like a few years back, you would find auctions kind of in the outskirts in certain areas. And with COVID and how everything changed like it did, for some auctions seem to be a little more prevalent.
Yeah. I need to go back and look on time frames to see if this has always been a thing with me being in real estate only for actual real estate for only 2 years or so and residential real estate. I know that commercial lending, it's always kind of been a little bit of a thing, but with residential, it's becoming more and more prevalent.
It's more, yeah, for sure. So just in the last 6 years, for me at least, the amount of incoming calls in regards to auctions are so much higher than what they used to be. I used to get calls occasionally.
Right.
But I don't know if maybe it's a matter of how they're labeled in the system.
Right.
Right now, the way that, like you said, the way that they're written up, people see it and immediately are like, this house is a $250,000
Well, it also might be a thing of
our
median price point in Lancaster is $327 monthly.
So when you see that,
you're really interested. Yeah. So okay, so So with an auction, a couple of main differences are you're in a room with a group of people bidding on the house, right? Just like any other auction would be, right? You have a certain amount of time that you're able to view the property. The way a lot of auctions, okay, so I am going to generalize a lot of this, but each auction, honestly, is very specific to its own property, right?
Yeah.
So as a seller, you can say certain things. You can say you're going to open up the property to accept bids before. I've seen one of those.
Yes.
So you accept bids before the auction. Yeah. You can do that. The seller can negotiate what they want to have down. The owner can say they'll open the property every Sunday until the auction happens to let people see the house. They can, all the things. Anyway, so I digress. So what we're seeing right now, what we see right now is that the auctions are having like 2 or 3 open houses. So they schedule them a month and a half out. So we have auctions that are coming in April, the end of April. That started in February. That went live in February. Yeah. They have 2 open houses. That's it. Yes. You get to see it during the open house. That's it.
That's what I've seen mostly.
That's all you get.
That's it.
You can reach out to the listing, or you can reach out to it's not a listing agent. You're reaching out to the auctioneer.
Yeah.
And the auctioneer is responding with a look on the MLS for the open house list. Yes. Okay. Yeah. And you can take us along with. We would love to come with you.
Yes.
Because auctions are bought as is, which means there are no inspections. Yeah. You can ask for an inspection.
Yes, I was going to say, as is, you can get one, but
it cannot be contingent.
Correct.
On the purchase of that home. Correct. Okay. So, and depending on the auction and depending on the property, they might specify they're not accepting any inspections prior to purchasing the home.
Right.
They can say that.
Yeah.
They do say that.
Yeah.
So that means you can get an inspection. So, hey, by the way, guys, you can get an inspection on your home at any time. You can hire an inspector to come in and do an inspection on your home after you've owned it for 10 years. Did you know that? I don't know if anyone knew that. But by the way, you can do that.
Whatever you want. And it's not expensive.
It's like $500.
And if you feel as if there might be an issue of some kind or in any capacity, or you've never had one,
do it.
Do it.
You can do it. Yeah, I know. Hey. I know. I love this. I love this sweater. It's so warm. My mom bought this for me.
She's nice and soft.
It's so amazing. I love this sweater. Boss Cobbs. Oh, I know.
Cute.
Boss Cobbs. I love it.
Cute.
Okay. So you're purchasing the home without an inspection sometime
per se,
or without the inspection being contingent on the purchase. How about that?
Correct. Okay. So and as is.
So you're purchasing the home. You all sit in a room. You bid on the house. The bidding will start at the listing price. Okay, so that is the start price typically. Now I've had auctioneers that are like, it might be it. I have found
general idea.
I have found that the reason that people go and choose auctions is one of a couple of reasons as a seller. Your home is a little niche, a little bit more niche than the area. It sits on a little bit more land than typical. It might have something like a little silly about the home, like a cistern or a different septic tank type thing, or a septic field. Is that what it's called? The ones that are just like literally
the drain field.
Yeah. Things like that, which we still run into, especially in Lancaster. We have a niche-y type homes that people are like, we don't know what to do. We don't know how to do this. Or it's a relative that really doesn't feel like dealing with an estate type thing.
Yes, I was going to say, I feel like that's what
I don't want to say not feel like dealing with it, but they just don't feel it necessary to like want someone, like they just don't want to do the things.
Yeah, I understand that you want a little bit more of a disconnect.
Yeah, and they just don't. Your loved one passed. They had no way of there was nothing in place. Mm-hmm. And let me just in here real quick. if you have loved ones, talk to them about what comes next.
Seriously.
Just saying. I'm sorry. I've been meaning to like say this forever.
But it comes up a lot, and it's going to come up in all of these different types of purchases over the next month or so and during this
series. If you feel like you're pressed for this, talk to someone ahead of time.
Yes.
We'll talk to you at any time.
Yes.
About any of this stuff.
And we also even on our vendors, like our preferred vendors list and all of the people that we've worked with in the past, that we recommend, etc. There are people on that list specifically to help with this part, like this transition.
Get ready.
Like that end. Yeah, it's part of it, and it's part of our world with real estate.
It
is honestly just that step, and it's very hard on the next generation to try and figure all of that out.
Right. I make my parents talk.
Do you?
What are you doing?
Do you have those conversations? So
100%.
We have started by that.
Like 100%. I'm like, listen, I am not dealing with this while I'm dealing with other things. So what are we doing? Yeah. Period.
No, it's just overall, it's a good practice to have. Like, what do they want to have happen?
Absolutely. You own a home, you have to have these conversations, guys. I'm so sorry.
Yes. Well, even like when my folks built the house that they're currently in, part of the conversations when they built that home were around, design and things specific to when they pass away. Right. How do we want this to work? What's best for resale? What's best for if you wanted to live here? What's, all those different options. So even in the building process itself, not only something to consider for what you want particularly, but like also for then what's going to happen. Yeah. But you are so right in that a lot of people will choose auctions in an estate sort of situation.
Yeah. So I think I've seen that less because of the way the market runs now. That a lot of the real estate that I'm seeing in auctions isn't necessarily estate. It is more niche-y is what I'm seeing. Okay. The main overarching theme in real estate on auction right now, out of the 21 that I saw, is more niche-y. They're just these odd homes. They have been let go. Some of them have been let go. There are auctions out there that have not been let go. They are not let go. They are beautiful properties. Yep. The entire property, the home is beautiful. Everything about it is beautiful. The person just chose to go in auction versus regular standard sale.
Yep. So I want to make sure that we do hit on like what comes along though with when we're going to, and I know we're going to, but like the difference between, so why would you choose to go auction?
Well, so
like to what
people, I think that the sellers, now part of this is me assuming, part of this is me knowing the mindset of a seller. They say, I want to get the most money.
Yes.
Okay. They're like, I want to get the most money. How do I get the most money? Put everybody in one room and have them fight it out.
Yes.
Let me tell you what, that's happening now without auctions.
Right.
It's been happening for 2 to 3 years without auctions.
Right. You don't need that.
So I don't know that that's necessarily, I don't know that you're getting the best bang for your buck. And I think that Sam and I talked about it, and they actually are getting like 10% less than a regular standard sale right now.
Yeah, so I was going to say
going auction.
It's a deterrent for so many realtors that are signed, I feel like.
Well, so I don't know how far I want to go down that.
I know.
But so
just a general
statement of as a real estate agent, we get paid less with an auction, and that's really all I'm going to say.
I wasn't even talking about income wise. I was talking about the qualifications, like for our buyers, like. It's like we all have a ton of buyers, right?
So you can't come with USDA, you can't come with FHA,
right?
You can't come with. I mean, I guess you could go with FHA if the home is a good standard.
So, recently,
I guess no.
Right?
No,
recently,
I guess no. Never mind. Just kidding.
Yeah, it's a cash or conventional world.
Yes. So that's the other thing.
Which is what I mean. So a lot of our buyers, obviously, different financing all over the board. It's immediately. Sorry, that's how I meant it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah.
But it's immediately a deterrent because like half of my buyer pool
is FHA
is
right
already now. Not able to even.
So So
Side note, sorry.
that's okay. So with an auction, you not only are waiving inspection. So think about that. If your loan requires you to get inspection, if you're a VA buyer, if you are an FHA buyer, if you are a USDA buyer. So if you have anything other than a conventional loan, you can't really look at an auction.
It's pretty, yeah.
Because you have to purchase the property as is. Yeah. Also, you have to either have 10% or an allotted amount. So anywhere and I've seen anywhere from $25,000 to $35,000. So it doesn't have to be 10%, but it has to be either like typically like 35 or 10%, whatever's greater. Cash in hand that day. And yes, I mean cash.
Yes.
Like you can come there with $35,000 in cash, or you can come there with a personal check with proof from a bank that you have $35,000 in hand that day. I don't know about you. But that's not me today. So I just
not today.
No, not today. But so I think that if you are prepared and you are that buyer and you're looking for those things, like I think that it makes sense for an auction. I mean, it definitely is not something that is undoable. But again, so we went from this world of like everyone kind of saved for the year of COVID. And then was able to do all these cash purchases and do all these big lump sums, right? And then we kind of went and switched over to more FHA, more USDA, more conventional with absolutely needing that loan thing.
Which going back a number of years to more of I always, again, like the term balanced market.
Right.
Having all of those different types of financing is normal.
Oh yeah, it's not a poo-poo at all.
Yeah, like the last couple years,
they're there for a reason.
Has been such a blip.
Yeah,
in my
it really
world
was.
That like, so all these other types of loans are. I mean, they're amazing. But what's happened is there's sections or homes or certain things that aren't going to.
Which is why we say there are a lot, and there are a lot. 21 out of 390 is a lot, but it's not the majority. No. It's not the majority of the homes that are out there right now. So, but it is a type of home. It is a type of purchase that you're doing, right? So auctions. So you're sitting in a room, you have to have 10% to whatever amount, whatever's greater, cash in hand money in an account down for that home. That amount is non-refundable.
Correct.
So if you choose to walk away within 45 days, because a settlement for an auction is typically 45 days, you are not getting that money back.
Correct.
You're not getting that money back.
Change, yeah.
So the other big thing that I see, and again, I think it is specific to a bunch of these homes, but I think it's pretty standard, is that the buyer actually pays for the full 2% transfer tax in Pennsylvania. So Pennsylvania has a 2% transfer tax, and typically the buyer pays 1% and the seller pays 1%. In an auction situation, the buyer absorbs that entire 2%. So that is an extra, in a median case, an extra $2,500 that you're paying at closing. Essentially, the only thing that the seller is paying in this instance, avoiding real estate commissions, avoiding the 1% transfer tax fee, avoiding all these other things. The only thing they're really paying is taxes. In this case, and they are paying the auctioneer.
I was going to say,
I mean, they're paying the auction fees and things like that. But I think the whole the scheme of things here is that they're supposed to be less than what they would pay a broker or a listing agent, which is why they're doing what they do. So I hope that that people that get auctions are really pricing this out appropriately. It is not advertised the same way. It is not broadcasted the same way. It's not put out into the media the same way as a typical listing that we might
Correct.
do. So it is what it is, but you definitely need to take a look at that when you're weighing your options
And
when it
that's
comes to listing.
right. So that was my deterrent thing. So when you're choosing to list your home, you're by doing something like that, I feel
Yep.
like immediately just keep in mind that because it is a conventional and cash world, that
You're kind of closing yourself off to a little bit.
But again,
A lot of it.
those properties, at least in the last couple years,
Yeah.
the people are coming with the cash to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely not a lack of that here in Lancaster.
No, not at all.
Auctions are super popular when it comes to the Amish community as well.
Yeah, and particularly, I mean, we have all this farmland.
Yeah. So there's
right?
one right now that's actually it's starting bid auction for $900,000.
Where at?
Oh my goodness, I don't know. It's like 14 acres of it's farm. It's a farm. It's ready. It's clean green. It's all the things.
Yeah.
It's you're getting a fair amount there. I don't even recall when the auction is. If anyone has questions about that one specifically, reach
I
out
would
to
be
me.
curious. Yeah,
But
I will.
another thing to remember here is that you need to register for these auctions 48 to 24 hours before the auction happens. Registering as your agent it's just a paper form. If you're registering as someone from the public, you can do that too, but you'd have to register in order to even be able to bid on the house.
Correct. Yep.
Even if you just want to go, you have to register ahead of time.
Correct. And then also, if for instance, like we have clients right now that we're signed with that will send us information on auction homes, for example, and when you are signed on as someone's buyer agent, keep in mind that because we do auctions as well,
we do.
And we are representing you.
Yep.
Let
us know. We register
and we'll
you.
take care of the registration and give you all the information and all the things that you need
and
to
we'll
know.
meet you there, hang out with you during the auction.
But a lot of people just don't know that a realtor or a buyer agent has any role in that environment, and we'll just kind of like go ahead. I had that happen early on in my career. Somebody went ahead, and I was like, no.
We participate in all sale forms.
Yeah.
I mean, any way that you want to purchase a home, we are available and are knowledgeable to talk to you about that, to walk you through what that looks like. Another really great thing is typically with the auction, we're able to walk with you through the property and use our expertise to kind of point some things out that you might not necessarily see. So it is good for us to come along.
Yes, always. Yes. It's kind of, I don't know. I would not, always have your realtor.
Always have your realtor go along with you to open houses in general.
That's where I was headed.
Even to open houses in general, I always say, I am always available, and I love seeing homes. I almost go to open houses to hang out and just say hi, because I like going to them. I think, and if I know a client is looking for a specific house, I might pop by and just kind of take a look before they take a look, instead of wasting time. I can't stand
I'll do the same. I'll do the same thing though.
Why not?
Why not? Right. Exactly. Why not? So in any sort of instance where you're walking through an open house, or, I mean, think of it as the equivalent of taking a realtor with you for a showing.
Exactly.
Right? So be it open house, auctions, whatever it may be, having your realtor there with you to have all that extra information and knowledge at your disposal. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So to recap here,
our major points.
Auctions.
Yep.
There are benefits and, grievances. I don't know what to say with that.
There's pros and cons.
Yeah, pros and cons
to every
to
type
all
of,
of
sale.
These types of sales, right?
Yep.
So with auctions, so you need a certain amount of money down, cash money in hand, time of winning bid, right? typically conventional or cash purchase, no inspections, no inspections. So that means when it does have that cistern and or field.
Have you ever gone into a home with the old cisterns? They're really fun.
My home growing up, just a quick little personal story. Growing up, I lived at a house that had a well that was less than 25 foot, where we used to have to go out and drop a rock and a string to see if there was enough water to take a shower.
No way.
Not lying. It's the funniest thing. Whenever anybody comes to me when there's a well, I'm like, well, let me tell you a little story about when I grew up.
So there's this really interesting house over in Bronx that I saw multiple times a few years back that has the cistern, and you walk down the stairs into it from in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I just remember walking around down there, and it was
cooling.
Interesting thing.
So ours was naturally fed by an underground spring, and there was a part in our one dirt floor basement where you would lift this thing up and just this cool breeze would hit you right in the face. And then we had a drainage field was for our septic system. Dad, love you, but
oh my God.
Yeah, it's great. It's not great. Anyway, not a big deal. Growing up,
character.
So anyway, so niche homes are what I'm seeing right now. Homes that need some love but are good standing, I think. And then it's supposed to save money for the seller. Is ultimately one of the main reasons why people will choose to go auction versus standard sale right now. I do have to stress, talk to us.
Yes,
that's all I want to say is if you're thinking one or the other, just talk to us. Just chat with us. Let us talk to you and be real and realistic and have realistic expectations when it comes to what the sale of your home truly looks like without going the auction route. Talk to an auctioneer. They're going to be straight with you too.
Yes.
So talk to both. If you're looking to go one way or the other, that's what I would do.
I will say.
Oh
yeah, that's when that happens. Okay, so we're still on. We're still there.
We're here. Okay,
it's okay.
Sorry, my phone rang, and now I have a new newfangled computer that
when phones ring on these, it's kicks us off in the background. But we were there the whole time, so it's kind of funny. Our faces were probably great. But one thing I will say, so like you said, just make sure that you talk to us. We're going to be transparent. They're going to be transparent. It is what it is. We want what's best for you, whatever's best for you works. So I do want to say, in regards to they're trying to get the most money out of it. You did mention a statistic in there that was about a percentage. And I think when Sam and I talked about this last, I think it was like 10%. They actually lose on 10. You lose 10% of what you could actually be walking away with, even with paying a full 6% commission. And the only reason that I bring that up is because you also mentioned that when you're working with a realtor, there are other there's marketing and
we
reach
put so much
and
into
the
it,
knowledge and the expertise, the people we know, all those kind of things. And I honestly feel like that is what creates that percentage difference.
I think our reach is so far, and we have people coming in from out of state that are looking for your home.
Right.
Again, I feel like I have to say just one more time, auctions.
Hi, Matt,
I know, I was just gonna say, hey. Auctions are big within the Amish community, and it's a small niche community where they are looking for they don't need a far reach to sell their their farm, and it makes sense for them to do that. And I think that it makes sense for some people and not for everybody, and so why not just talk? It's free to talk to us, and you don't have to sign anything when we leave. We like it.
We do. We
like it a lot.
But one of the things that's going to happen throughout this whole series is that, like, here we are, right? So auctions is today. Again, there's pros and cons for everyone's situation within each of the different types of sales that we're going to talk about. So this is just day one. This is one of those options. And we are
Yeah.
always open to the discussion and very transparent about whether or not it would be to your benefit or not.
Seriously.
And
and it's honestly your own it's your
Right.
it's your
That's what I'm
choice.
saying,
It's
yeah.
your choice to make
Yeah.
that decision as what's best for you and what's best for your family and when it's
Yeah.
time for you to do these things. And I again will stress one more time, sorry, this whole thing. Don't wait until it's too late. Let's do that.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I'm gonna do a little recap, just really quick.
Go for it. I'm waiting. I'm listening.
Okay, so I just want to put a couple of items out there because I know that I know my buyers, right, that have looked at auction homes. So just a reminder.
Yes.
The price that you see that's
Oh, yeah.
listed out there on Zillow, on Realtor.com, on wherever you may see it, that price is a starting bid or a suggestion.
It's a suggested
for a
started
started bid, right? That is not what it would be for a standard sale, that this is their asking price.
Nope.
Okay, so keep
Huge
that
difference.
in mind when you see it. And one of the other things, of course, so that's a starting bid.
Yep.
Secondly, that money that you need cash in hand at
Time
the
of auction.
actual auction, right? So 10% or the lot at 35,000, whatever it may
Yep.
be, cash in hand with proof of funds if it's in a check form
Yep.
that day. Okay.
Yep. And if you're offering cash, you need a letter from your bank indicating you have that amount of money in cash today.
Yep. Transfer tax, right?
Yep.
Here's another
It's a full 2%.
thing. It's that 2%.
Doesn't seem like a lot, but it all
But it
adds
adds up. And then the other big one is that these properties are as is, right? So
Yep.
keep those were my big points, right? As is property, that's not an asking price, that is a suggested starting bid. There is a 10% down, there's a chunk of money or
Yep.
35,000,
Cash or
whatever it may be.
conventional.
Cash there, cash or conventional.
Yep.
And they're as is properties.
Yep.
So it may be perfect
Oh, for you.
for you.
Absolutely.
It
Absolutely.
may be perfect for you. And so you want to have that conversation with a realtor so we can figure out, is that perfect for you?
Yeah.
Because if it is, then that's the route that you should go.
Let's go.
If it's not, then one of the other many different types of things that we're going to talk about over the next few weeks could be your route. So with that being said, and those being the big points, Hannah's going to be our auction expert. Okay. So any sort of auction information. I think probably, well, at least out of the two of us, I feel you have had your hand in the pot a little more than I have. In that
I really have.
So
I don't know how I've gotten so lucky.
I have, but not to the extent that you have. So I'm going to say, if you have any questions in regards to auction specifically,
Please, by all means,
Yes.
reach out to me.
let us know.
Yeah.
Let whomever know, but Hannah is probably going to be able to answer right away, more so.
Yeah.
But next week, it's you and I again, and we're going to be working on standard sale. Standard
Wonderful.
purchase, right? So
I'm
this
just
week's
kidding.
auction, next week's going to be our standard
Yeah.
purchase.
I think all of these are very fun. I think that they
yeah.
all keep us on our toes.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that Lancaster has a little bit of everything, by the way. I love it.
No, it is
I love
awesome.
Lancaster.
You do love
I can.
I love Lancaster,
speak
too.
enough about it.
It's so funny. You move away and you don't think you'll ever. I was like, oh.
I moved away and I was like, I
yeah.
gotta come back. I
came
can't.
back and
I
love
can't.
it.
Yeah.
So with all of that being said,
Oh,
here
yeah,
we
our
are.
little, like-
Yep, here we are at the end of the day, right? So please, if you have any questions,
Reach out.
anything at all, if
Yeah.
you're looking to schedule a consultation, if you're looking to buy or sell,
Yep.
hit us up.
Yep.
You can call or text to 717-333-7045. You can email us, info@thedahliagroup.net.
Yep.
Find us on the web at thedahliagroup.net. Or, as always, hit us up on any of the many platforms that you are watching this on right now,
Right now.
because we are everywhere.
We are everywhere.
All right.
All right.
We will see you next week at 10 a.m. on Wednesday.
Every 10,
You're going to do this
every
gracefully this
Wednesday at
time.
10
I'm
o'clock.
gonna
Yeah, ready?
sit back.
Are we ready? Bye, guys.
Bye.
That's Facebook. Oh, wait, I've got to do
yeah.
that. Hang on. Let's do this.
Yep.
And now,
Yep.
and then I'm going to go over here.
And that one's still
And
on.
do, I know. Facebook.